Deep thoughts, shallow host. All right, let's do this. Okay, settle down, settle in. Today we are wading into a swamp of an idea that sounds like it was dreamed up by a robot who tried to understand romance by scanning a billion TikToks. We are talking about Looksmaxxing. Yeah, I said it. And let me tell you, it's exactly as dumb as it sounds, folks. The whole idea is you can and should tweak your own face like it's a video game character. You know, it's like deciding your refrigerator isn't cold enough, so you paint flames on the side. Makes no sense. So, why are we even bothering with this? Well, it's because of this one particular head case. A guy who goes by clavicular. Yeah, like your collarbone. I guess elbow was taken. Anyway, this fella is the poster child for the whole movement, and he's our tour guide down this very, very weird rabbit hole. And you know how it goes. The second this guy gets a little bit of a following, all the professional hand-wringers come out of the woodwork, right? Oh, he's a menace. What a terrible example. But listen, all that yelling, it's like pouring Miracle Grow on a weed. It just makes him bigger. It's this perfect feedback loop. They're trying to put out a dumpster fire with a fire hose full of gasoline. Some German professor, Luhmann, had a name for it. Autopoetic. Fancy word, but it just means the snake eats its own tail. The outrage is the thing that keeps it alive. So look, this whole Looksmaxxing thing, it didn't just fall out of the sky yesterday. Oh no. This is just the newest, weirdest apple to fall from a very old, very strange tree of dudes on the internet having a bit of a meltdown. Let's trace the family tree of these goofballs. Okay, so here's the evolution. Back in the mid-2000s, you had the pickup artists. These guys thought dating was like a magic show. You just had to learn the right lines and card tricks. Then that morphed into the red pill. That's when they decided, hey, wait a minute, the whole magic show is rigged. After that, it got even darker with the black pill. Now the show's not just rigged, you weren't even born with a ticket to get in because your jawline isn't chiseled enough. Which, of course, brings us to today, Looksmaxxing, the grand finale, which says, you're right, the game is rigged, so I'm gonna cheat with steroids and surgery until I'm the one running the casino. What a ride, huh? And that's the real shift here, you see? The pickup artists, as goofy as they were, they believed they could do something about their situation. They thought, hey, I can learn a new trick. But by the time you get to the black pill, all that's out the window. It's just fatalism. It's this idea of biological determinism, which is a $5 way of saying the game was over before it even began. You lost because of the shape of your head. All right, now we gotta get into the deep thoughts part of the show, so put on your thinking caps. A couple of real eggheads figured out how our idea of who we are has changed over time, and honestly, kind of explains this whole mess. So way back when, you had sincerity. This was easy mode. Your identity was your job. You're a plumber, your dad was a plumber, you plumb. The end. Who you are and what you do are the same thing, no confusion. Then, things got complicated. We entered the age of authenticity. Now your real identity is this secret thing on the inside. So you might be a plumber to pay the bills, but your true self is a sensitive artist who writes poems about lonely seagulls. The real you is buried deep down where no one can see it. Which leads us to right now, prophilicity. Forget your job, forget your deep inner feelings. Who are you? You are whatever your online profile says you are. In 30 seconds, you can go from plumber to hydrokinetic artist with 500 plus connections, and bam, you're a genius. Your identity is whatever you can type the fastest. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard in your life? So if your whole identity is just a profile you can edit, how do these Looksmaxxing guys keep score? Oh, don't you worry, they've got a system. They invented a ruler to measure faces called the PSL scale. It's basically a way to let an algorithm tell you you're ugly. How fun is that? And what does PSL stand for? Some scientific principle? The Pearson-Smithson-Lombardi scale? No. It stands for puhadate.com, sleuthate.com, and lookism.com. I'm not kidding. It's named after 3 dead-and-gone internet forums where a bunch of sad sacks used to go to complain. That's where this so-called objective science comes from. But you know, PSL scale doesn't sound too good on a TikTok video, does it? So they cleaned it up. They laundered the term. Now it's called perceived sexual market value. Ooh, sounds so professional now, doesn't it? It's the same bucket of sludge, they just put a nice little suit and tie on it. So what's the point of all this? You get the surgeries, you crunch the numbers on your face. What's the final boss? What's the trophy at the end of this whole ridiculous journey? It all comes down to one word, folks: mogging. I mean, think about it. Your grandpa's idea of being a man was, what, build a house, raise a family, get a gold watch after 30 years at the plant. This new version, this clavicular head cases version, you optimize your cheekbones. You get impotent from all the steroids you're pumping into your system. And your big accomplishment, your gold watch, making other guys feel bad about themselves when you walk into a Chipotle, it's a real step forward for humanity. And get a load of this guy. He doesn't just say, I'm trying to look better. Oh no, that's for us simpletons. He calls it transcendental becoming and ascension. Ascension. He's not getting a nose job, he's achieving enlightenment. Seriously, this guy's brain is a bag of wet squirrels. And here's where the logic just completely ties itself in a knot. This all supposedly started as a way to attract women, right? But that's not even the point anymore. The actual goal is to mog other men, to be the top dog, the male of the group, so that your physical presence alone makes other guys feel like crap. The game isn't about men and women anymore. It's a weird, silent competition between men, judged by a bunch of imaginary internet points. Okay, last deep thought, I promise. Then we can all go take a nap. There was this French philosopher, Bernard Stiegler, who had a take on all this technology stuff. And it's a real brain bender, so hang on tight. So this Stiegler fella, he breaks it down like this. You've got technics, that's your tools, your tech, your algorithms, your steroids, all the stuff you use to build yourself up fast. And then you've got physis, that's just nature, letting your body grow and age on its own time, like a plant. And this whole Looksmaxxing thing, it's all technics, no physis. It's about using technology to skip the line, to short-circuit the whole process of just being a person over time. And I'm just going to read you the man's own words here, and you tell me what you think. Quote, "What would be the breaking of a time barrier if this meant going faster than time? Speed is older than time." Wait, what? Hold on. Speed is older than time? How is that even possible? Is the running older than the race? Quote, "For either time, with space, determines speed. Or else time, like space, is only thinkable in terms of speed." I got nothing. I'm lost. My GPS just exploded. What is this guy, a stoned philosophy major trying to order a pizza? My brain is melting. Speed is older than time. Buzz off, you silly goose. That's just word salad. You know, this whole thing, it reminds me of the time I tried to optimize my morning toast. I'm not kidding. I read some article online that said if you apply heat instantly, you bypass the staling process and achieve like a higher state of toast. So I go out to the garage, I get my propane torch. I'm thinking, technics, this is it. I'm gonna hack my breakfast. I'm standing there in the kitchen, in my underwear, holding a piece of Wonder Bread with a pair of pliers, and I'm just blasting it. My wife comes downstairs, she sees this whole scene, she just starts screaming. I yell back, "It's not just bread, Sharon, it's the temporal acceleration of gluten." Next thing you know, the smoke alarm's blaring, the bread is a little black square of carbon, and I've torched off my left eyebrow completely. And in that moment, standing there in a cloud of smoke, smelling like burnt hair and failure, it all clicked. I finally understood. The kitchen fire wasn't a mistake, it was the unthought speed of the universe crashing into my morning. And my missing eyebrow, that was just the price you pay when physis gets short-circuited by the desire for immediate results, which is precisely why clavicular, surgically enhanced cheekbones are a direct violation of the temporal prime directive and will inevitably cause the entire space-time continuum to fold in on itself like a cheap lawn chair. Think about it. Good night, everybody.